Yo, what's up guys, vaulty here with a brand new video. Now, World of Warcraft has been out for about 14 years at this point, and pretty much since launch it has been the biggest MMO of all time and is still the biggest MMO today. There have been many secrets that have been found out in World of Warcraft. However, in this video I will be going over 10 things you still don't know about World. So number one on our list is Undercover demons in Dalaran. Now, in case you guys don't know, there is an NPC that you may have seen in Dalaran just walking around, and if you try and talk to him, you will get this very suspicious text box that comes up saying that his eyes are darting around shiftily. It's pretty obvious that there is something strange going on with this NPC. However, your suspicions would be correct. If you actually play a demon hunter and use spectral vision, you can actually see that this NPC is actually a demon. If you try and talk to Armand Thaco again while he is in the demon form in spectral vision, you can actually fight him, and he is actually pretty tough, as you can see. So number two on our list is Goblin Pinup calendars. Now, in case you guys don't know, if you go around Goblin settlements and Goblin villages and little houses that Goblins inhabit, you can actually find that in Goblin houses there are many pinup calendars of Goblin females posing in bikinis. Even in Thousand Needles, if you go underneath the big boat, you can actually swim into a secret room. You can find one of these pinup calendars. Number three is polite NPCs in Dalaran. Most people in Dalaran really aren't paying attention to the setting, and they don't notice the little details of this place. Blizzard has actually scripted the NPCs of Dalaran to actually walk around you instead of just walking right through you like any other NPC. The cool thing about this is that this is how a NPC would react in real life. Like when you're just walking down in the street, you don't see people just bumping into you. They actually walk around you like a normal human being. So the NPCs in Dalaran seem to be the only polite people in all of World of Warcraft. But if you continuously get in their way, you can actually glitch them out so they actually go the wrong way and they collide with walls and stuff. It's actually pretty entertaining. So in between Stormwind City and the Searing Gorge, there is this mountainous area where you can actually find these dwarves fighting drakes. And I think a lot of people have noticed this while they were taking a flight path to somewhere in the Searing Gorge, and they fly past this mountainous area where there's a bunch of dwarves fighting with a dragon, and they haven't really inspected it further than that. But since Vanilla WoW, these dwarves have been fighting this drake, and it's kind of strange that this is happening just right in the middle of nowhere for about 14 years at this point. Number 5 is Illidan is a freak. In case you guys don't know, in the Burning Crusade there was the raid called Black Temple, and Black Temple was basically the headquarters of Illidan when he was still a bad guy. The Black Temple is pretty much what you expect. There is a bunch of scary looking enemies walking around and big bosses you have to take down. It is pretty much par for the course when it comes to raids in World of Warcraft. However, one of the most interesting sections of this raid is the Den of Mortal Delights. So there is a huge section actually in this raid where it is basically just a place where Illidan's workers hang out, and all of these workers are blood elf or human females that are wearing skimpy clothes. So it is pretty obvious what is actually going on here. Illidan has a harem of hundreds of women working for him. You can see around the environment there's loads of beds and comfy furniture and hookah pipes and so on. So whenever you see Illidan in a cutscene, just remember Illidan is a bit of a freak. In fact, he also has topless male servants carrying food around the place. It is actually a giant place. In fact, he must have hundreds of these sex workers. So number 6 is Isaac Newton. Now Isaac Newton is in World of Warcraft, but he had a very unfortunate demise. If you go to Nagrand, there is one of these floating rocks with a tree on top. The interesting thing about this tree is that there is a bunch of apples lying on the floor, so it is obviously an apple tree. And if you look around, you can actually find there is a skeleton of a man who probably got killed by an apple, but he also has an axe to his skull. So I'm not sure what happened here, but it looks quite a bit like Isaac Newton. Although I'm pretty sure Isaac Newton didn't get an axe in his skull. So number 7 is the Damascus Lake. Now Damascus is obviously a huge zone and it is a giant tree. And unfortunately in Battle for Azeroth it has been burnt down, and That is kind of unfortunate considering that this is one of the most beautiful zones in World of Warcraft. However, if you look around the actual tree, you can find a secret lake in Damascus. There are no NPCs or any reason why you have to go here, but it is actually pretty cool to see this secret lake just next to Damascus. There's even a boat on this lake, although I'm not sure who owns this boat. Number 8 is the Ironforge Airfield. Now, I'm sure most of you guys probably know about Ironforge Airfield, as this has been in the game since the beginning of time pretty much. However, the Ironforge Airfield is something that is not intuitive to go to. Like, there's no real reason why you would go here unless you were just bored and exploring around the zone. But next to Ironforge, there is the Ironforge Airfield, where there is an ongoing war between the Ironforge guards and Dark Iron dwarves. It's kind of crazy that there is a war zone just outside of Ironforge, but there are also planes dropping bombs on these dwarves, and it's basically just a war zone. But more importantly, you can also take a helicopter to go from one point of Don Moreau to the other, which I never knew about. Number 9 is Conan is in the Badlands. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with the film Conan the Barbarian, which stars Arnold Schwarzenegger. However, in World of Warcraft, he is actually resting in the Badlands. If you look at the skeleton in this random crypt in the Badlands, you can see that this is clearly Conan's skeleton, as he is posed in the exact same way he would be. There are also these weird black rats that are these critters that when you attack them, they turn into a black rat. However, the model is they are a polar bear cub. I'm really not sure what that is about. I don't know if this is a glitch or not, but this is also down in this crypt. Number 10 is the updated Rufus Tomb in Battle for Azeroth. This is a semi-secret zone in Western Plaguelands, and there has been some very interesting updates when it comes to this zone. In case you guys don't know who Uther is, Uther was one of the main characters in Warcraft 3 and has had some of the most lore significant moments in Warcraft history. Uther is a major character in the Warcraft universe, and he actually has been resting in this tomb since Vanilla WoW. Although recently this tomb has been updated by Blizzard, and the updates that Blizzard has introduced into this tomb is very interesting. Blizzard did an amazing job making this place look even better than it did before, and Blizzard has just added a lot of details to this place, such as runes on the floor that look pretty cool, and the place just had a general graphical overhaul as the place just looks a little bit better. However, when it comes to quest and storyline that has been introduced into Battle for Azeroth, Uther's tomb hasn't seen any difference. It is the exact same place as we had before, and there is no new quests or anything else going there. But what I find most interesting when it comes to the new updated Uther's tomb in Battle for Azeroth are these gates that have been locked from the inside. So on each side of Uther's tomb there are these 2 gates that is impossible for you to get into. However, if you look past the gates, you can see that there is a pathway going downstairs, and nobody knows for sure what exactly is down there. It is pretty mysterious as there hasn't been any actual explanation by Blizzard. However, this definitely suggests that there will be some future content that will be added to this location in Battle for Azeroth. However, we haven't seen that patch yet. And this has made the Warcraft community speculate as to what the heck is going on here, and some people believe that Uther will come back in Battle for Azeroth. To be honest, that is kind of a stretch, although it could happen. We have seen crazier things in the Warcraft lore. I personally think in upcoming patches we will see these gates open, and this little zone will be used in some kind of quest storyline in the future. So what is exactly underneath Uther's tomb? What is beyond these gates? The most likely explanation is that this is the pathway leading down to where Uther's body actually is, as that would be logical considering that you wouldn't put a body in a statue. The statue is not Uther himself, it is just a representation of him, and the corpse behind these gates is probably Uther. If you go down below through the terrain underneath this zone, you can actually start to see some books floating underneath this zone, which are directly placed underneath the runes that you saw in the room upstairs. And I personally believe this just gives a light effect to these runes as they are placed directly underneath each 4 of these runes. You see these books that create this glowing light effect, or this could be a teaser as to what will come in future updates, as we might have to deal with these books in future patches. It could be books written by Uther, it could be books that will come resurrect Uther. It is currently unknown as to the significance of these books, or the explanation could be simply that these create the visual effect needed to light up the runes in the floor upstairs. But one thing is pretty close to being certain is that we will see updates to this place, as there is pretty much no reason why Blizzard will update this zone and give this place a graphical overhaul if they're not going to do anything with it. I'm pretty sure that we will see quests and things going on in this zone in future patches. Well guys, if you like this video, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos. This is vaulty, signing out.